Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Literary Lab. I am Zevile Nonjabulo, and I'm here with
E10 Nonjabulo, and we're delighted to have you back.
Today we dive into the gritty world of cinema. In a city where bustling streets and city light hide secrets, Dirty Pretty Things takes us on a journey into the shadows.
So, Dirty Pretty Things is written by Stephen Knight and it is directed by Stephen Frears. It is a film that is set in a part of London that is often unseen by the population. So, this film focuses on real-world problems including human organ trafficking and illegal migration.
The film Dirty Pretty Things was released in 2002. It centers on the experiences of two illegal immigrants living in London. Firstly, playing the character of Ogwe, a Nigerian immigrant, is Chiwetel Ejiofor, and playing the character of Siner, a Turkish immigrant, is Audrey Tautou.
So, Sine and Okwe are immigrants who grow close to each other as they navigate the life of being undocumented immigrants in London who lives in the fear of being deported. So, when Okwe discovers a human heart clogging a hotel toilet, he notices that there might be an organ trafficking that is happening in the hotel, which then leads him to uncover the darker side of his employer and his adopted.
The connection between the three concepts of globalization, borders, and the body serves to display the threat and exploitation that immigrants undergo. On the broader part, it shows how immigrants become invincible and how their bodies become commodified under global capitalism.
So now we'll be moving into the significance of the title Dirty Pretty. So the title Dirty Pretty Things contrasts the good surface of the global capitalism with the harsh realities, which refers to the exploitative underbelly where undocumented immigrants endure degrading dirty work to service the pretty lifestyle of their.
The film displays housemaids intimidated by immigrant officers, wealthy white tourists are beating sex workers. By looking at the dirt of the service workers, we also analyze the class and social divisions between the service workers, managers, as well as the tourist consumers. Thus, the film scrutinizes global capitalism happening in London.
So the duality of the title of the film shows the theme of beauty and corruption, what is visible to the public, and the invisible realities and suffering of the immigrants, showing how their bodies are represented and exploited in the film.
Okay, so overall, these immigrants do not benefit themselves at all. So we see the class division and the social division of how they serve the purpose of benefiting the lifestyle of the rich only, and
not themselves.
Moving on, we'll be now discussing how the film Dirty Pretty Things represent the relationship between globalization, borders, and the body, and how Emily Davis' article, Intimacies of Globalization, Bodies and Borders on Screen, it helps us interpret these representations.
So we'll be looking into the connection of these three concepts by analyzing certain elements of the film, including the characterization, the setting, and some elements of the mise-en-scène, including the props, the lighting, and the costumes that are present in the film. So globalization refers to the increase in the interconnectedness of places and people around the world, which is established through trade, politics, and also cultural exchange. But in this case, Emily Davis states that the impact of globalization is not only visible in the economic level or the global scales, but it is also visible through the human bodies. So the impact of globalization in the body is seen through the migrant workers, because the migrant workers are often working in the basements and in the hidden infrastructure of the hotel, where their inputs or their services is hidden from the public society. For example, we see that in the scene where Sine is with Sneak in the hotel room, where she says to him, "You do not see me," showing how much she feels unappreciated by the system.
Also, to add on that idea, we also see somewhere in the film where Okwe says something similar to what Sine is saying. In the underground parking lot, a guy comes to fetch the kidney, and he says to Okwe and the others that, how come I've never seen you? And Okwe's reply is, because we are the people you do not see. So that further emphasizes how they are very much invisible, how much sex workers like Juliet and also immigrant laborers are very much invisible in the global system.
So they are basically treated like the other. That they are not as equally important as the citizens of London. So moving on, we'll be looking into how the body becomes the site of border crossing or control.
Yes.
So borders can be physical, and they can be visible and also invisible. So in this case, there are national borders which restrict the movement of people from one country to another. For example, Okwe is from Nigeria, which means there is a border that restricts him from moving from Nigeria to London freely, So now these borders are being violated by the migrants' bodies through illegal migration in the film.
Exactly. So I strongly agree with you as the props in the film further emphasize what you're saying. For example, the passports. The passports in the film further emphasize the sites of border crossing, exposing that for you to be allowed or legally allowed in certain states, you need to carry a passport. But for the illegal immigrants, they do not have, so they are further exploited or marginalized.
So moving on, we'll be looking into the commodification of labor and organs in the film. As I've explained before, that commodification means when something is turned into a mere commodity or it is commercialized. So in the film, the main characters are considered as alien, marginalized, and non-human beings. So their bodies are nothing but commodities to be literally traded and given to the privileged.
Exactly. We see their organs being removed from the film. And also another example is our main character Sine. When she works at the workshops, her boss intimidates her to not report her if she uses her body in order to gain favors from the manager or the boss in the sweatshop. That further emphasizes how she uses her body as a commodity. It's not her body at that instant, it belongs to someone, or it's a mere exchange between the boss and her to gain some favors. Benefits.
And also we are looking into how the organ trade targets the illegal migrants.
Exactly.
They are targeting them because they know that they are desperate and they need the legal documentation to be in London. So they are targeted and operated, and they are just leaving them. We're seeing in other scenes that their wounds even
bleed or even infected, to further show that they will do anything. Like they will sell their bodies, their body will become an exchange or trade in order for them to gain illegal stay in London. Yes.
So power dynamics are central in the film, and they are mostly visible between the documented and the undocumented citizens. For example, the duality of the Baltic Hotel. So in the Baltic Hotel, the front desk and the guest rooms are used for the comfort and consumption of the legitimate customers, while on the other side, the underground side and the back rooms are left for the undocumented immigrants.
As well as low-paying jobs, people working in low-paying jobs. They're also found in a very same situation as the immigrants. People such as cleaners, also people as housemaids, seamstress. All those people are very much similar to illegal immigrants because they're found in a very bottom.
And they hold no power.
No power, exactly.
So we also see the power dynamics through the costume, the costume in the film. Because I'll make example of the character Sneaky. Sneaky, when he's wearing his outfit, you will see that he also wears some jewelry. Which shows that he is privileged.
He has more power.
Compared to the other citizens or the other illegal migrants such as Ogwe, where they just wear normal clothes.
Exactly. We
Yes.
see Okwe, we do not see much jewelry or any other. It's just
your ordinary
ordinary clothes, your jackets to cover you, actually to cover your body. They do not hold a certain standard as compared to Sneaky. Also, we also see the power dynamics in the lighting, the intensity of the lighting in the film. Also, we saw a little bit of brightness when it comes to tourist consumers in the Baltic Hotel. There's a certain light intensity, brightness, and also, but when it comes to illegal migrants, there's dimness in terms of lighting, showing how the film showing how they are very much invisible and how they are exploited and how
they hold no power
in the city of London.
So the film balances the critique and complicity through the portrayal of characters such as Okwe, who try to navigate their way through the oppressive system and resist it.
Okay, so exactly like turning exploitation back to exploiters. For example, when Sine biting the boss when he asks of her sexual favors.
And also when Okwe and Sine tricks Sneaky and harvest his kidney instead of harvesting Sine's kidney.
So basically, these are characters using the system's logic against itself in order for them to prosper. But don't you think that also makes them to be part of the system, even though they are immigrants, but turning using the system for themselves
it makes them to be exactly like the exploiters. So basically, they seem as if they are not different from the exploiters.
They're not different from Sneaky, but we see how they use it to gain identity or to reclaim
their power. And gain their freedom.
So before we wrap up today's conversation, what are your key takes in the whole film?
So I feel like the relationship between the three concepts of globalization, the body and borders is represented in the film. Why? Because the migrants have crossed borders to go to London, and also as much as they have crossed the borders, the impact of globalization affects them, affects their bodies, because their bodies becomes sexualized and commodified.
Exactly. They become exploited because of certain factors. The global system puts them in the very bottom of things. I get you. So also, I also think that when it comes to women, I know we didn't stick on that, but I also saw how the thing of double marginalization worked, specifically on women, especially Sine. We don't see how she uses her hands. Or most of the time when in the film, when he's represented in the film, her hands are mostly hidden with technical instrument. Unlike Okwe, we see him using his hands to
be a taxi driver.
He's a taxi. He uses his hands to drive a car, and also when treating people, he uses his hands as he uses her doctor. Instruments. Yes, he uses his hand. But when it came to Sine, we did not see her hands. Her hands were covered with technical instruments, as a sewing machine and also other things. So I guess it's double marginalization for women, that they're invisible, and also their handwork is not displayed.
With that said, I think that, so in conclusion, we can say that as much as Sine is marginalized as an illegal immigrant in London, she is also marginalized as a woman.
Exactly.
Because she is powerless. With that said, I think that Okwe tried to resist the system somehow, because there's this scene where Sneaky tries to talk to him to join him in the illegal organ trafficking.
Yeah.
And then he definitely says to him, no, I cannot do that,
do that.
I take that as irresistance. On the other side, Sine, when the boss asked her of sexual favors, she did not have much to say. She just did
willingly,
yeah,
he did it. That.
So with that said, guys, thank you very much for joining us for today's episode, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.